Page 5, 3 lines from the top of the page. I would like to begin with the Rambam. Rambam tells us in Sefer Korbanot, Hilchot Chagiga, the first chapter. He said, one who did not bring a festival peace offering on Shavuot, this is the upcoming festival, may bring it for 6 more days after the festival. So here we have the disputation we discussed yesterday. On one side we have Tanakama and Rabbi Shimon, that they have the Bal Te'acher, which means that if a person cannot make it on time, you have a certain limitation of time. If you passed it, so he is in violation of, you shall not delay. And the whole discussion is over a line, a sentence in the Torah that looks superfluous. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Eliezer said that there is a tashlumin la'atzeret, there is a way to pay, as we mentioned by the Rambam. V'Tanakama v'Rabbi Shimon tashlumin la'atzeret mena lehu. So the Gemara asks over the view of Tanakama and Rabbi Shimon, that where exactly you learn it. So Rashi tells us we basically can learn an hekesh, meaning analogy between Chag HaMatzot, Chag HaShavuot, Pesach and Shavuot, and we make this analogy between Shavuot and Pesach in regards to Tashlumin, to pay for the late, to go further, as we said, the Rambam tells us. Nafka lehu midetani Rabba bar Shmuel. The Tani Rabba bar Shmuel, Amra Torah menei yamim, vekadesh chodesh, which means we have the notion of each and every day of the month we count, which means we have the story in the Torah of the Slav, meaning it was a time that they complained, the people in the desert, they want the meat, and the Torah said, all right, Hashem said every single day you have a meat until it will be sickle, right? So basically you see the language of the Torah, they use the term of days. They said, until you reach a point that it's too much. So here, after you count either 30 or 29 days of the month, you sanctify the new month by bringing the offering of the Rosh Chodesh, the new moon. Menei yamim vekadesh atzeret. You count the day from Pesach to Atzeret, meaning the festival of Shavuot, by bringing the offering. So, from that line of the Slav, the Torah tells us in the book of Bamidbar, chapter 11, Ad Chodesh Yamim, until 30 days, we learn that we count the full day of the month, which means if you count by the way of the moon, it's like 29 and a half days. So either you go by the 29 days or 30 days. That's the way we learn, if you remember, when we study Megillah, page 5. So, meaning that the 30 or the 31 day from the beginning of the month, it's decided by the beginning of the month to the following one. So they said, Ma Chodesh Limnuyav, the same way that you count the month, but by a unit, which means for one day, etc., etc. You remember how we count the Omer. We count in a way that it's days and the weeks. So Shavuot, Atzeret Limnuyav, Shavuot is sanctified for the unit by time, so in which it counted. So it means that you go Hayom, it's in the days, the full week, as we said, Sheva Shabbatot, 7 weeks, Tmimot tiyena, the complete week shall be there. So it means the proper time to sanctify it by bringing the offering of the week, Chag HaShavuot, the festival of the week, and the 6 days follow the festival, you can bring the offering. So the Gemara challenges to say, Eima Atzeret Chad Yoma. You may say that, look, that the festival of Shavuot, it's 1 day. Why? Because the Torah said, Tisperu, you should count 50 Yom, 50 days. So how we count the Omer? Hayom, so and so. So you count the days, that these are the weeks, and we count 7 days. 7 weeks, when it's completion, the Torah said, Tisperu 50 Yom. You count the 50 days. So it means you can say that the festival of Shavuot is only 1 day, because you have the mitzvah of counting the days preceding the festival of Shavuot. So the Rava said, Amarava atu atzeret yomei maninan shavue lo maninan. When it's come to festival of Shavuot, we're not counting only days, we're counting the weeks. Ve'amarmar, this is a well-known statement, mitzvah lememnei yomei u'mitzvah lememnei shavuei. You remember the way we count the Omer? We count Hayom and we count the days, which means that it's a separate mitzvah. One is the mitzvah of counting the days, and one is the mitzvah to count the week. So since the Torah asks us to do 2 separate countings, one for the days and one for the weeks, between Pesach to Shavuot, you derive from this analogy between Shavuot and Rosh Chodesh that the time of bringing the offering of Chagiga of Shavuot is a week. The odd and another clear source is Chag Shavuot Ktiv. The Torah said twice, one in Shmot 34, one in Dvarim 16. They call the festival, one of the name of festival of Shavuot is the festival of the weeks, which means the way you establish the festival of Shavuot is by count the weeks.
7 weeks.
7 weeks. Okay? So what we derive from that? The analogy between Chag HaShavuot, the festival of the week, and Rosh Chodesh, we understand that there is a tashlumin, meaning you can go ahead and bring whatever you owe, quote unquote, for the following 7 days of the celebration of the festival of Shavuot. There is a question that Rashba and Ritva asked, which is Tafasta merube lo tafasta, which means we said, if you remember the previous daf, that if you count if you go by small measure, meaning you take one thing at a time, you count. So therefore, you may think that it should be only 1 day of festival of Shavuot. So therefore, the Rashba and Ritva say that that's the idea of the centerpiece of Shavuot, which is you go by the week, which means the centerpiece is the number of Shavuot. As if you look at the statement we make every day doing the Omer, is Shehem, that these are the amount of the weeks. So we go by the week. And the Gemara said, Pesach bar mikrav bergalim hu. So you mean to say, when it's come to the festival of Passover, so you can go and sacrifice in the other festival? It's a clear statement. The Torah said, Pesach zimna kvialei. we have a very clear time for Paschal Lamb. We have to have it Ben Arbaim, in a separate time on the 14th of Nisan in the afternoon. I akrevei, if a person bring that Pesach, he fulfilled the obligation, which means if he does it on time, that's he doesn't have the Bal Te'acher. V'lo akrevei yitchelei. But if he did not sacrifice it, then it is excluded forever from any use. Meaning, we are close to the 14th of Iyar, the Pesach Sheni. But when it's come to the offering itself, let's say if a person lost his lamb, Paschal lamb, he lost. He needs to bring the lamb, bring the Pesach offering. So what did he do? He takes another one. All of a sudden, after he's already involved with that, they discover his original Paschal lamb. What do you do now? You cannot save that lamb for the next year. Why? Because the Torah said it has to be Ben Shana. So, meaning
1 year old.
1 year old. So what do? So you cannot bring him anymore as a Paschal lamb. So they said the moment that he passed its time, the owner is in violation of Bal Te'acher, you shall not delay. That's the way Tosfot tells us. Tosfot said, in a very short, succinct statement, he said, V'harei miyad over alav. Right away, he is in violation. So there is one avenue. There is another avenue. It's a book called Turei Even. And he explains that here we are in a very different avenue. When it's come to Pesach, we have a very clear permanent time. It's called Zman Kavua. You have a very clear time for Pesach. So therefore, the whole concept of Bal Te'acher, the option of delaying, it's not applied. Only for something that you can go and have tashlumim. You have a payment after the passing of time. But here, when the time exceeded is no longer applicable, that's incongruous. It's not involved with this type of thing, because when you use the language, you should not delay. It's something that you have an option, but in the Pesach you do not have an option. That's the Turei Even view. So the Gemara expect. Yeah.
So Rabbi, should you, since you find the other one, so what you do? You slaughter both of them, or just?
No, you already did the Pesach.
You already did one. So the other one, but you just sell it, or
no?
You can't benefit from it.
You can't get no.
The temple, use it whatever they want to use.
Oh, you still give it to them.
But in other words, in a sense, you have an issue of doing anything with that because it's already passed.
Okay.
In other words, you cannot use it for Paschal lamb.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, Amar Rav Chizda Pesach kdi nasva, which means when it's come to Paschal lamb, is cited here for no reason. Kdi, which means the prohibition against delaying is not relevant to Paschal lamb. Why? Because as we said, the firstborn offering, animal type, and Paschal lamb are often grouped together. So therefore, that's what the Mishnah tells us in Zvachim, Tractate Zvachim, page 56. So that's the reason why they combine all of this, the Paschal lamb, together with the firstborn and type, even it's not applied to Pesach. Another option, Rav Sheshet Amar, my Pesach, why we use the Paschal lamb, Shalmei Pesach. It's applied to what? To the peace offering that is brought in place of Paschal lamb. Which means if you have a situation that the lamb is set aside to be sacrificed as a Paschal lamb, and offering and was lost, so you take another one and sacrifice the Paschal lamb, and afterward you found it. So now it must be bought as a peace offering. As I said, it's given to the temple as a peace offering. The offering is subject to all the halachot of the prohibition against delaying, and that's the way it is. Basically, the Rashi said that's the idea that if a person, the owner of the animal, did not use it as a peace offering for shlamim, and it's a 3 regalim, 3 festival pass, so he's in violation, you shall not delay. So the Gemara said, shlamim. If that's the case, the same as peace offering, so it's the same as the other one. So why you need to repeat it again? So Tana shlamim aba'in mechamat Pesach. It's not a regular situation that you bring a peace offering. It originally was designated as a pag-aaral, and because of the circumstance, it turned to be a peace offering. So v'tana shlamim aba'im mechamat atzman. If you have a peace offering that bought independently, which means that animal originally was consecrated for the purpose of peace offering, and now because of the situation, it's because the 3 festivals pass and he is in violation of bal te'acher, who shall not delay. Salka da'atacha min hayomei thingo il u'machamat pesach ka'atu, because they came as a result, as a circumstance of what? Of pag-aaral. 5 kepesach damu, meaning it's considered like a pag-aaral itself, which means that the same way someone who did not bring the pag-aaral in a time which is the 14th of Nisan, he is in violation of bal te'acher, you shall not delay. Whenever the first festival occurred, which is the Pesach, so since the moment Pesach passed, he cannot bring that offering as a pag-aaral. So it may apply also to shlamim, to peace offering, that if the owner delay from bringing his offering, whenever the first festival occurs, from that point, he is in violation, you shall not delay. Kamash melan, so therefore we have the Braita to teach us that even someone who's delay of bringing the peace offering that come as a result of pag-aaral, he is not in violation of you shall not delay until you reach a point of 3 festivals. Now we bring the sources. Menahane milei, from where you see that source in the Torah, the Tanu Rabbanan. This is a famous statement in the book of Dvarim, Deuteronomy chapter 23. Ki tido neder la Hashem Elokecha, when you make a vow before you Lord your God, lo te'acher leshalmo, you shall not delay of paying it. Ki darosh yidreshenu Hashem Elokecha mimach v'yavech, because the Lord will require it from you, and it will be seen in you. So what we derive from that? Ki tido neder, when you make this vow, ainly the whole idea of being in the violation, of being delayed, ela neder, applies to someone who make a neder, meaning I accept upon myself certain offering, and therefore he needs to dedicate a special animal and bring it as an offering. And that's apply nedava. If someone said for certain animal, this will be a burn offering, this will be a peace offering. Mנין, how do you learn from this juxtaposition, this analogy? נאמר כאן נדר. The Torah used the term of vow. ונאמר להלן, the Torah said in the book of Leviticus chapter 7, אם נדר או נדבה. So you derive from that analogy, מה להלן נדבה עמו. Over there it's together the vow with a voluntarily offering, אף כאן נדבה עמו. So it means that the violation of thou shall not delay applies also for nedava, the voluntarily offering. Then we said, La Hashem Elokecha, to you Lord your God, אלו הדמים, הערכים, והחרמים, וההקדשות. That's applied to all different offerings, the assessments, the evaluation, dedication, and consecration. So all of this we explained already yesterday, that it's basically given to the temple treasury, and it's all for you Lord you God. The Kohanim does not partake of that. So meaning, if someone committed himself to bring certain amount of money to the temple in one of those ways, if he's delay, he's in violation of thou shall not delay. And then the Torah said, Lo te'acher leshalmo, which means you should not delay to pay. Who? Meaning the offering itself, velo chilufav, and it's not applied to what? To the substitute. Ki darosh yidreshenu, because in a way, God, the Dreshenu, God will surely require from you. So we want to include all different things that one is required to bring, and it's applied to what? Eilu chataot, the sin offering, va'ashamot, and guilt offering, olot, the burn offering, va'ushlamim, and a peace offering. And then we derive from the word Hashem Elokecha, for you Lord you God. Elu tzedakot, this apply to charity. Uma'asrot, meaning the tithe a person takes from the vegetable, which is the first tithe, the second tithe, and the poor people's tithe. Ubechol, and also the firstborn. So it means that by using the word the Lord you God, we derive that all of that applies to Bal Te'acher, should not delay, and it's tzedakah. The Torah said ulechat tzedakah, for you should be a tzedakah, and use the same lifnei Hashem Elokecha, and the same apply to tithe. The Torah used ve'achalta lifnei Hashem Elokecha. So you see here me'imach, the Torah said me'imach zeleket shichecha ufeah. From you it's applied to what? To gleanings, forgotten sheaves, and pe'ah, to leave the corner of the field. That's, we learn that it's giving to the poor people. So since the Torah speaks about the mitzvah of giving loan to a poor people, et ani imach, so it means that even matnot aniyim, those give to a poor people, a person should not delay. Otherwise, in a violation, you should not delay. V'haya bechach, and it will be seen in you. So it means that it applies to you if you delay fulfill your vow. V'lo bekorbancha chet, and it will not be in your offering, which means the offering is not disqualified because it's delayed. Mar lo te'acher leshalmo, the master said in the Braita, you shall not delay. Hu velo chilufav, he and not its substitute. So the Gemara said the chilufei mai. What is the substitute? Speak about isur bal te'acher, that the person should not be delayed. Il chilufei ola ushlamim, if it's applied to substitute of burnt offering and peace offering. So meaning you have an animal that was dedicated for the burnt offering or peace offering, and it was as a substitute to a peace offering that was lost, and then all of a sudden you discover you found the original animal. So that's not applied to, you should not delay, because it's already, you consecrated the second animal. Mikrav karve, you shall bring us an offering independently, and that's part of what the Torah said, lo te'acher leshalmo, you shall not delay in paying it. חילופי חטאת, if it's a substitute for sin offering. So again, a substitute for one who's lost, למתעזלה. So that one, you cannot use it. You can leave it in the field and they die naturally. That's הלכה למשה מסיני. So therefore the whole concept of בל תאחר, it's not applicable. אלא מהי חלופיו? What does that mean? The substitute, חילופי תודה, the thanksgiving offering, which means you have an animal that was dedicated instead of the thanksgiving offering that was lost, and after you found the first one, the two animals mix in a way that you cannot recognize them, which one is the first, the thanksgiving offering, and which one is the second. So therefore, and one of them it's already lost, meaning past. So the Braita said, the idea of thou shall not delay does not apply to the animal that's left. And he says, the Tani Rabbi Chia, תודה שנתערבה בתרומתה. If the thanksgiving offering become mixed with its substitute, which means a substitute, someone substitute an animal for one designated as a thanksgiving offering, and both animals consider consecrated, which means the one that was designated, the one who lost, and then the original animal and its substitute became mixed with each other, ומתה אחת מהם, and one of them died, חברתה אין לתקנה, you cannot have any solution for the other one. So you must leave it to graze until it becomes blemished, and that's it, you can't do anything. What do you do with the animal that left? Likarva velikarev lechem ba'ada. If you tell me that you should bring it together with the 40 bread of thanksgiving, dilma tmurahi, maybe it's a substitute, and the substitute, the idea is sacrifice like thanksgiving offering itself, but without bread. So they said, likarva belo lechem, dilma todahi. So therefore, you should sacrifice without bread, because most probably it's original thanksgiving, so it means you have to bring it with the bread. So the same way, you cannot take the animal that left alive from the mixture of the thanksgiving and its substitute. The same way you cannot bring the animal that was alive with the mixture with a thanksgiving and the substitute, because that even the substitute of that offering doesn't need to have the bread, because the bread comes solely with the thanksgiving offering. So since you cannot bring it in that fashion together, therefore a person is not in violation of Bal Te'acher, you should not delay. And therefore that's what the Braita meant when they use the word substitute, and they derive it from the idea of Isur Bal Te'acher, the prohibition against thou shall not delay. So the Gemara rejected that and said, Ve'akivan delav bat hakravai, since that animal is not befitting to be offering, kra lemeute lamali, so why we need the special line, special pasuk to teach us that that's part of thou shall not delay. We understand it obviously because the whole prohibition is only a person need to bring that animal, and if he doesn't have it, then in a way is no. Since that animal is not befitting to be offered, so eventually he cannot bring it, and therefore you do not need a special source to tell us that it's not part of Bal Te'acher, so you should not delay. Omar Rav Sheshet, Le'olam lema'utei chilufei ola ushlamim. Rav Sheshet said, yes, you know what? you can say that the Torah text applies to exclude the substitute for burnt offering or peace offering. And what's happened here? We're dealing with what? כגון שעברו עליו שני רגלים. That burnt offering or the peace offering passed to festival. והומם, and blemish occurred on that animal. וחיללו על אחר, and a person used another one. ועבר עליו in the new offering pass רגל אחד, one festival. סל כדתך מן ההואיל מכוח כמה קאטה, you may think that since the whole idea that the second offering came because of the first offering, כיוון דעברו עליו שלושה רגלים דמי, you hold the same rule as an offering that passed the three festivals, and therefore a person is in a violation and you should not delay. Kamash Melan, the pasuk tells us that it's incorrect, but the second animal, which is the substitute of the burnt offering and a peace offering, is considering a independent offering, and the way that you count the three festivals, it's from the time that it was consecrated, and the owner is not in a violation of thou shall not delay until it passed a three festival from that moment. So the Gemara said, Ule Rabbi Meir de Amar, but Rabbi Meir who said earlier, if you remember page 4b, כיוון שעבר עליו רגל אחד, since a first festival passed, עובר בבלתי אחר, he is transgressed in a mitzvah, you should not delay. My ika lemeimar. Well, how do you explain the braita? Because you cannot combine the delaying of the offering with the substitute. So, because even without that, the moment it passed one festival, it's already in violation of you should not delay. Amar Rava, Rava said, you know what we're talking here? It's כגון שהומם בתוך הרגל. That blemish occurred during the festival. וחיללו, so a person used another animal, and then סל כדעתך אמינא. You may think, הואיל מכוח כמה קאתי, since the second animal comes and the substitute the first one, כמאן דעבר עלי כולי רגל דמי. So it's like a person whose the entire festival has already passed, so that the person who transgress is in violation of prohibition against delay. Therefore, Kamash Melan, it's come to teach us that it's not the case, but the entire festival must pass for the replacement animal. Then the Gemara said, in regards to the you should not delay, v'haya bechachet, meaning that it should be a sin for you. That meaning, if you delay, you carry a sin. It applies to you, velo bekorbancha achet, which means that's not the reason for your offering to be disqualified. V'ha me'acha nafka, how do you learn it? Mide acherim nafka. You learn it from other source, which is Rabbi Meir. When you use acherim, it's applied to Rabbi Meir. Usually, there is a Tosfot said in Brachot, page 9, is also in Avodah Zarah, page 64, that usually when the Gemara used the term acherim, applies to Rabbi Meir. Anyway, the Tanya, acherim omrim, יכול יהא בכור שעברה שנתו כפסולי המוקדשים. You may think that the firstborn that passed the first year, we hold it the same as psulei amukdashim, which means something that it's disqualified from a consecrated things, which means you have an offering that all of a sudden there is a blemish and is now disqualified, it's not befitting for offering, v'yipasel, because usually if it passed the 1 year, it's already past the 3 festivals. So therefore, if he delayed his vow it may happen that that offering it's already disqualified. Talmud lomar ve'achalta lifnei Hashem Elokecha. The Torah said, you shall eat before your Lord your God. And he said, Ma'asar gancha tiroshcha v'itzarecha, uvechorot bekarcha v'tzonecha. He said, the tithe of your grain, your wine, your oil, the firstborn of your herd, and your flock. So what do? You learn it in a juxtaposition. How? Makish bechol lemaaser. You juxtapose the firstborn to the second type. How? The same way as the second type is not became disqualified from one year to the other. Of Bechor, the same way as the firstborn, אינו נפסל משנה לחברתה. Is not disqualified by being kept over 1 year to the next, even at its delay, and brought to the altar. So here you have another source that the offering itself does not become disqualified even if it's brought late. So why you need a special drasha, a special source for the v'haya b'chachet that you have seen and not applies to your animal? It's trich. You need it. Why? Even without this hekesh, this comparison between tied to a firstborn. Salka da'ata chamina. It may come to your mind to think, hanemile bechor. This word that the offering become disqualified from 1 year to the next applies specifically to the firstborn. Why? The lav bar hartza'ahu, that the firstborn it's not an offering that have the appeasement, which means it's not come to atone for the honor of the offering, and you cannot appease before God, not even for the neglect of the positive mitzvah, but only as a gift to the Kohen. Aval kodashim, but the other consecrated animals, the bnei hartza'aninu, which can be appeased, because it comes as an atonement for a person who brings that offering or a gift before God. So therefore, Eima lo leiratzu, since it comes with avera, with the sin, it may not appease if it brought late. Kamash melan. Now the Braita teaches us that the other offering is also not disqualified if it's brought late. So again, it's all concept of bediavad. So the Gemara challenged that and said, ve'akati, it's still an issue because we said ve'haya bechachet, you will carry a sin. So he said that's applied to you, but not to your offering. So one may be argued that this derivative is unnecessary. Page 6. Mi de ben azai nafka. Ben azai is one of the darshanim. So offering that come late, it's qualified. The Tanya. Ben azai omer. Ben azai derived from the following point. Oto, that specific oto, that animal. So that animal, we talk about pigul. So the offering is not come for appeasement to his honor, and is not fulfill his obligation, which means we can understand the pasuk without the word oto. לפי שנאמר לא תאחר לשלמו שומע אני אף מאחר נדרו, since the Torah said you should not delay of bringing it, of paying it. So it means even someone who's delaying fulfilling his vow, בבל ירצה, so it means that offering is disqualified. תלמוד לומר, we learn אותו בלא ירצה, the specific one who bring it, that meaning that the offering it become disqualified and it's not appeasement for his honor. ואין מאחר נדרו בלא ירצה, but one who is late in paying his vow is not included in the halacha of it shall not be accepted because it's late. So it means that from the word oto we derive that this offering that brought late, it's still befitting. So why we need the word ve'aya bechachet that's applied to you and not to your offering, ela bechachet velo beishtechachet, that's applied to you but not to your, it's not be seen for your wife. How? סלקא דעתך מן היו, may think, הואיל ואמר רבי יוחנן ויתם רבי אלעזר, אין אשתו של אדם מתה, אלא אם כן מבקשים ממנו ממון. A person's wife did not pass earlier than their time, only because if they want money that he stole from others, ואין לו שנאמר, and he cannot pay it, because they said in the book of Proverbs chapter 2, אם אין לך לשלם, למה ייקח משכבך מתחתיך? They said, if you have nothing with which to pay, why should he take away your bed from under you? Which means that this is a warning that the person should not take a loan that incurring debt, because if that happen, it may result losing the very sheet that he sleeps on to his creditor. So it's like understanding it in the derivative point, which means why should you cause Hashem to take away your wife, which means she who shares your bed, so that she died. So what we understand that the person that the person's wife also die for this transgression of the prohibition, you shall not delay. In that one fails to fulfill the commitment. Kamash Melan, that the pasuk teaches us that ve'aya bechachet, that's applied to you and not to your wife, which means the sin is imputed to him alone. So you do not punish for delay of his vow by taking his wife. We count the Omer. Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim 489. It's beautiful how it matches with the Daf Yomi. The Omer is counted from the night after the first festival day of Pesach. Both the days and the weeks are counted. So, for example, the count of the day 7 is 7 days, which are week of the Omer. The count continues in a manner until the end. That's based on the Gemara that we study today. Mnei Yamim v'Kadesh Chodesh. That's the Rambam, Ilchot Kiddush HaChodesh, chapter 8. A lunar month is 29 and a half days and 793 and 1080 of the hour. So according to rabbinic tradition, the new moon does not begin in the middle of the day. Rather, every month begins at the beginning of a day. So it means that the evening, as the verse states, a month of a day. We talk about vows. So the Rambam said, Ilchot Maaseh HaKorbanot, chapter 14, if one vowed to bring an animal as an offering but delay bringing it for more than 3 festivals, the offering itself is not disqualified, although the person transgressed the prohibition against delaying. How about Todah shenit'arva b'trumata? What happened with a thanks offering that become mixed with its substitute? So meaning if one substituted a thanks offering with another animal and the two become mixed up with each other and subsequently one died, if it is not known whether the one who died was the original or the substitute, there is no solution for the other one. and so it must be left to graze until it develops a blemish, at which point it is sold. So according to the Ravid, one must bring another thanks offering with its accompanying loaves, and the money received from the sale of the blemish animal may be used for the purchase of a thanks offering which is brought without bread. Humam vechilelo. Again, Rambam, Ilchot Maaseh HaKorbanot, chapter 14. If one consecrated an animal as an offering and 2 festivals passed, so you have 2 festivals that passed, and afterward the animal developed a blemish that disqualified it, and he redeemed it by replacing it with another animal, as it is required, he does not transgress the prohibition against delaying until a further 3 festivals have passed from the purchase of the second animal. So basically, you go for another year in a sense. The last halacha of today is about Bechor. Again, Rambam, Ilchot Maaseh HaKorbanot, chapter 1. A firstborn animal. So although it is a mitzvah to offer the firstborn animal in its first year, if one delayed bringing it and the year passed, he must still sacrifice it, provided it is unblemished. If it has a blemish, it may be slaughtered anywhere.
לשולוים מלאכי השולוים מלאכי